Hey everyone, today we are going to decode something that seems simple on the surface, but wow, it can be a real maze of hidden costs. Dumpster rental pricing. Let's get to the bottom of what you're really paying for.
So if you've ever rented a dumpster, you probably know this feeling, right? You see one price advertised online, but then the final bill shows up and it looks completely different. It's this jungle of weight allowances, overage fees, and all these extra charges. So yeah, let's clear up that confusion once and for all. Okay, first things first, let's look at the industry standard. This is the model you're going to see most of the time. It's often called the flat rate or the bundled service, and it's pretty much the go-to for most companies out there. So the whole idea behind this bundled pricing is simplicity. You get one single price that packages everything together. The bin itself, the drop-off, the pickup, and crucially, a specific amount of weight you're allowed to throw in. It's totally predictable, kind of like ordering a combo meal at a fast food place. You know exactly what you're getting for that price. And the process itself is designed to be super straightforward. You get a quote, you pay that one price, and then really your only job is to fill that bin. Just got to make sure you stay under the weight limit and inside the rental period. Simple, right? Let's look at a real-world example to make this concrete. A company using this standard model might offer a big 40-yard bin for, say, $460. Now, that price bundles in a 7-day rental and a 3-ton weight limit. Okay, so lock that number in your head, $460 for 3 tons. All right, now let's completely pivot to a different way of doing things. Some companies, like 905wood.com, use what we'll call a decoupled or an a la carte approach. They basically break all the costs down into pieces. So, decoupled pricing does the exact opposite of bundling. It unbundles the services. You pay for the bin rental as one thing, and then you pay for your weight allowance as a completely separate item. So instead of that combo meal, you're ordering your main course and your side dishes individually. The process here has an extra little step. First, you pay a base rate just for the physical bin and the time you'll have it. Then, you select how much weight you think you're going to need, and you pay for that separately. Your total upfront cost is just those two numbers added together. Now, here's how that looks with 905wood.com's 40-yard bin. The base rate is $350. Now, at first glance, that looks cheaper than the competitor, right? But, and this is a big but, that price includes zero weight. To get a 4-ton allowance, you have to add another $280. So your total upfront cost is actually $630. Okay, so which model is actually better for your wallet? Let's put them side by side in a direct head-to-head comparison to see how these numbers really stack up when the rubber hits the road. At its core, the choice really boils down to this: the simplicity and predictability of a fixed package deal versus the flexibility and customization of building your service piece by piece. And believe me, there are pros and cons to both. What's really, really interesting here is how this table visually separates the pricing. You see the standard practice on the left? It bundles everything into one cost. But the 905wood.com model on the right clearly decouples the bin from the weight, which makes its initial base rate look so much lower. And this, right here, is where it gets really interesting. Let's say you have exactly 4 tons of waste, okay? With the standard model, you pay the $460 base, which covers your first 3 tons, plus probably a $95 overage fee for that extra ton. Your total is $555. But with the decoupled model, you pre-purchased those 4 tons for $630. So in this specific case, the standard combo meal model is actually cheap. So you might be asking, well, where does the decoupled model actually shine? It's all about flexibility. With the standard model, you're pretty much stuck with that 3-ton limit, and you're going to face penalties for every ton you go over. But 905wood.com lets you pre-purchase exactly what you think you'll need, all the way up to a whopping 24 tons. That could save you an absolute fortune in overage fees if you've got a really heavy project. But the differences don't stop there. What if you need the bin for a few extra days? Well, the standard model typically charges a simple daily rental fee. Something like $25 a day. But the decoupled model from 905wood.com uses this weird term from the logistics industry, demurrage, and charges a much steeper $75. So let's quickly define that so it's not so intimidating. Demurrage is basically just a fee for holding onto equipment, like a big shipping container or, in this case, a dumpster, longer than you agreed to. It's less of a rental fee and really more of a penalty for delaying that equipment's return to the company. So the crucial point here is that neither model is universally better than the other. Not at all. The right choice depends completely on the specifics of your project. Let's figure out how you can choose.
If you remember just one thing from all of this, please make it this right here. Don't get fixated on that shiny low base price. You have to look at the whole picture. How heavy is your debris going to be, and how long are you really going to need that bin?
The standard bundled flat rate is probably going to be your best bet if your load is relatively light, under that 3-ton limit we talked about. It's also perfect if you want absolutely zero surprises on your final bill, or if your project might get delayed and you need that cheaper daily extension fee. On the other hand, that decoupled custom model is perfect for you if you're dealing with really heavy materials like concrete, dirt, or dense wood, and you can estimate that weight pretty accurately. By pre-purchasing that weight, you lock in your price and you avoid those killer per ton overage penalties. It's also best if you're super confident you can get that bin back on time. So, before you book any dumpster from any company, you need to arm yourself with these 5 questions. First, ask if the price is bundled or decoupled. Ask for the exact included weight. Get the per ton overage fee. Get the daily extension fee. And always ask if there are any hidden charges for specific materials. Seriously, this is your cheat sheet to getting a transparent quote. And that's really the bottom line, isn't it? It's all about control. By understanding these 2 very different pricing philosophies, you can now analyze any quote that comes your way, ask the right questions, and choose the service that truly fits your project and your wallet. You're not just renting a bin anymore. You're making a smart financial choice.